Not only does your roll up not need to start from the ground, your roll up does not need to start from a seated position and work on coming down. You can be in the Z sit or mermaid position and start working on your roll down, but on your side and coming down to your back, and then positioning again and coming back up. I recommend doing this on both sides and sort of working yourself up and down and getting this sense and body awareness built of what it's like to come up and down. And then when we do move to starting our roll up from seated, we can also incorporate our arms. Throughout the Pilates practice, you'll find that your arms pressing down really creates this full body connection and sort of checking in with what supports or oppositional force can help us with different movements. And as I'm sitting here, I also like to think about what my ankles, knees, and hips and back, what relationship they have. Maybe having the feet flat doesn't feel that great, so we bend our feet and we get our heels down, toes up. We also don't have to have the legs extended. We can bend the legs, which will help us find that roundedness and that C curve as we come down. Another thing that we can use is our arms. We can bring our arms down and use our arms to help us, as I was mentioning earlier. And using that arm coming down helps us also figure out what is this relationship with my back and my pelvis, because that's gonna come up a lot. And then lowering down all the way. I like to come to this position where I'm with my elbows down, maybe even my forearms down, and seeing what that is like to then readjust the elbows and come all the way down. As I'm doing my head lifts and practicing there, I like to get a sense of bringing my elbows back. What is that like? I'm also trying to recreate this wheel. In no other aspect of life do I think it's okay to reinvent the wheel. But this isn't inventing anything. It's connecting in with that wheel shape. Our rib cage, once we start connecting down and finding this curve forward, we're creating a wheel-like structure that's going to help us in our roll-up over time. But maybe that doesn't feel great to our bodies, or we don't enjoy it. And that is okay. Our preferences also matter in our practice. So play around with it. Maybe you'd prefer to come down more in this Z-sit position and come up and practice that. Maybe you'd prefer to come down with your arms and check out that shape. Maybe you want to play around with what is this connection of coming up and then my legs. Legs are straight. This is going to be a little bit harder, but bending the legs will help you get into that shape. So there's a lot of different props that we can use, such as folding a towel to have a supported neutral shape, and just a little bit of connection down. Even though we are trying to find that rounded shape to come up, it's still nice to have that connection and check in with how that feels in our body. I'm a proponent of playing around with your back positioning and adjusting, not staying in static positions, and figuring out what works for you. So we're doing a lot of this work in my Sunday mat class, and we're learning the classical order, but with variations and options that work for us. And it's really about developing this toolbox of strategies and tactics to work with our body and work with ourselves where we're at. And to just also build our preferences. What do we enjoy? What do we not enjoy? I know what I have fun doing and what I don't have fun doing, because at the end of the day, having fun is what's going to help me return to my movement practice. And so one of my biggest missions is helping people figure out what they actually enjoy, because they're more likely to continue doing it. So I hope you enjoyed thinking a little bit differently about the roll-up. And yeah, I hope to move with you in the future, and enjoy the rest of your day.